you can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and big-time help in the relationship category. The questions you've got about mental wellness, we'll talk to you about your career, your money, any of it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Tom's in Portland, Maine. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me on. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I called last summer. I called into your show, and you gave me some advice, and I took that advice, and I wanted to...
Was it any good?
It was great advice.
I guess you wouldn't have called back.
Man.
If the advice sucked, you wouldn't have called back.
I was hoping you were calling to complain. Man, all right.
So we had a rental property that we were debating on, holding on to or selling, and your advice was to sell it. And we actually did just that. We had $300K in equity in the property, and we actually sold it for much more than we thought we could have, and we walked away net about $500K from the sale.
Woo-hoo! I'm so smart. Yeah. I'm glad I could help.
Now the primary purpose for the capital or the proceeds was to put it towards our primary residence, in terms of an upgrade and whatnot. But we haven't had too much luck in the market. So my question to you is, now that we have the $500K, do we sit on that in terms of savings? Do we short-term invest it? Do we reinvest in real estate and try, over the next year or two, try and make a splash in that sense? Or what should our next move be with that type of capital sitting in our savings account at the moment?
30 years of doing this, the vast majority of people who become wealthy do it incrementally, layer upon layer, not with splashes. Okay? So you hit a really, really good lick, but you've owned that house a long time, and you did it incrementally to get to this $500K in your pocket. Okay? So I'm much more concerned with your next move with the money that the money is available to do its main goal, which is move up in house. When the market calms down enough and you're ready to buy, you sneak up on a deal, right? Then I am that the $500K makes a bunch of money. So let's just play with some numbers for a second. This will help you, okay? If you make 10% on the money, you make $50K. If you make a splash, which would be like, woohoo, like unheard of, you make 20% on your money. You make another $50K. 10% is kind of a pretty much you can do, okay? 20%, you just got either lucky or you hit a zone or you made a gamble of some kind, a much higher risk play, and you made 20% on your money. So the whole thing of going from almost no risk to risk changes your picture in 1 year by $50,000 out of 500. It doesn't really take you anywhere because you're not going to double your money.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could hypothetically. I mean, you could go to Vegas and double your money, but you could also, you'd also stand the chance of losing it all, right? So that's not even on the, on the list of possibilities. So within the realm of reasonable, the difference between making a higher risk and a medium to low risk doesn't change the equation enough to screw with it. Okay? So what would I do if I woke up in your shoes? I would park it all in a money market account and sit and wait until I bought a house. Or I might do half of it in an index fund and ride the market for 2 years. Okay? Now, in my case, I've got a lot more net worth and a lot more liquidity, cash, and so losing some of the money wouldn't have as big an impact on my life. So I'm probably dropping it all into an index fund. As a matter of fact, I know I'm doing that because it's what I do all the time with excess money. I drop it into an index fund until I find a piece of real estate or find a project I want to work on with it. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Index fund, meaning an S&P 500, is going to do what the stock market does. Stock market goes up 10%, fairly normal. You're going to make around 50 grand. Stock market goes down 10%, very unusual in a calendar year. Very unusual. But you lost 50 grand. That's your play. Okay. You might make 50, you might lose 50. You're not going to lose 100 unless you're like the world's worst timing guy on the planet. And you're not going to make 100 unless you just catch a lucky break. I wouldn't go into it with that expectation. So if you want to play with it a little bit, and if you want to cut those numbers in half, do what I said a while ago, put 250 in a money market and 250 in a simple thing. But the point is, don't worry about what this money is doing as much as worry about having patience for the next buy, because you're going to mess up your purchase on that next house by more than you could make if you get in a hurry, or if you put the money in something that's stuck in, you can't get it out.
So I'm an uneducated guy, so help me here. So
no, you're overly educated.
About one little sliver of the world. You've got
I got an advantage on you in one subject. Okay.
So if I put it in a money market account that's earning 2% right now, and inflation's 8.5%, am I losing 6.5% on that money?
Well,
is it technically a 6.5% loss?
Yes.
Okay.
In purchasing power.
Okay.
But here's the thing. He's not going to use it for buying gasoline. He's going to use it for buying a house. So what are houses going to go up during the time?
Okay.
That he's making 2%.
And they're trying to slow the housing
I think
down.
I think it's officially. It's slowed down. I mean, it's probably growing instead of 30% a year, it's probably growing 7% a year now.
Okay.
But point still made, the house, if you're looking at $1 million house, might go up 5% more than his money went up.
Okay.
You know, and so he's going backward with the money market. That's why I'd like to put a little of it in there. But still, that's not going to dictate nearly as much as don't get in a bidding war and run it up 200 grand because you got house fever and your wife likes the dishwasher.
And you got obsessed about, I got to do it now, I got to do it now, I got to do it now.
And you get all caught up in the urgency, the tyranny of the urgency.
It's almost a... I like that almost as a slowdown tax. Like, just chill.
The power is in the patience.
There you go.
Not in the investment.
So working with law students, they used to train them called the power of the pause. Whoever talks last loses, right? So just be quiet. Just be quiet, right? And let people keep talking.
In sales, we would ask a closing question and then teach them to shut up.
Stop talking. Just stop talking.
The power of that silence.
Yes.
Whew. And you know, in theater, they teach you the power of the pause. Same thing. It's the same thing. There's a dramatic effect if you're quiet.
My dad used to do that.
Something we seldom are on this show. But
my dad used to do that. What happened, John? I'd be like, nothing, Dad. He'd just sit there and look at me and I'd say, I mean, I didn't mean to, man. I mean, it wasn't on purpose. And he had no idea.
He's just fishing. He's just fishing in a really target-rich environment.
Golly. What happened? That question got me in more trouble. Oh, man.
John,
be patient.
John, just tell me what you did.
That list is long, Dave. That list is long. I'm going to let you be a little more focused in your questions.
This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Boy, one of the things we've gotten to enjoy the last few weeks is being back in arenas, back in large theaters with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people and them cheering and all there to learn how to change their life. And it is just so fun to be back with human beings. And I know a lot of you have been doing it a while like I have, and some of you still haven't been out in the public at all. But it is not good that man be alone. It's so fun. Picture all your favorite speakers on one stage, giving you the tools, the principles that create unstoppable momentum. That SMART conference, it's going to be 3 years by the time we do this one. It's going to be in Dallas, Saturday, October the 22nd. It will have been 3 years since we did the last one. These are usually 8 to 12,000 people. This one's only going to be about 7,000 people, and it is almost half sold out, and it's in October. Dr. John Deloney, me, all the Ramsey personalities, plus Craig and Amy Groeschel from Life Church are going to be there. It's absolutely incredible. The event passes start at only $39 for an entire day of everything from relationships to career to money to millionaires to leadership. It's all going to be marriage. It's all going to be talked about there. And when you leave the SMART conference after being there all day, you're going to be smarter. So check it out. RamseySolutions.com/events. $39 tickets. You cannot beat that at all. All right. Justin is with us. Justin is in Lubbock, Texas. Hi, Justin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, nothing much. So I'm fairly new to Dave Ramsey, everything like that. I just had a quick question. I'm starting a new job where I'm going to be traveling a lot. They're going to expense it afterwards. I know you don't like credit cards, but is it worth getting a travel credit card for this instance when they're going to expense it out?
Well, no, but let me walk you through why, okay, rather than just give you an answer. Number one, I would ask them, if they're asking you to travel on their money, ask them to just give you one of their cards.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand why this big company needs you as their bank, needs you to front them money. I do understand. It's because corporate America has gotten away with letting travel ride on their employees' backs for 30 days for 25 years, and nobody ever called them on it, and I'm calling them on it. It's bullcrap. I don't send my people out that work here and ask them to pay for the travel where Ramsey Solutions makes money. Well, you're getting reimbursed. Well, why do I need one of my guys that works here to be my bank? I've got the money. I need to just pay for his travel or her travel, right? And so first thing I do is ask for it. I'm just calling you out, corporate America. You suck, okay? You're riding on the back of your employees' own credit. So here's the problem for you, Justin. Two problems. Here's the pitfalls. And you can get away with it if you want to get away with it. But the pitfalls are, number one, I had a guy had an Amex card that was charged to that his company was reimbursing, and they asked him while he was in Europe to pick up $12,000 worth of equipment, and so he did, put it in a suitcase, brought it home, and when he got home and went to the office, there's a padlock on the door. They filed Chapter 11. He ended up with $11,000 on his Amex card. They did not reimburse him. So that happens sometimes. And then the other thing, well, it'll never happen with this company. Yeah, right. It's famous last words. But the other thing that happens more often than that is you've got this stupid thing in your pocket. And I've traveled for 30 years. And there's something about travel that makes the human brain be stupid. You eat the wrong foods. You stay up too late, you don't exercise, you buy crap because you're bored, and that crap you can't put on your expense report. And you end up with an extra 25% of whatever of what you thought you were spending you spent $1,000 on the company and $250 on you that you can't get reimbursed, and you end up with credit card debt is what you end up with. And I'm telling you, because I've traveled for a living, and I have to, when I'm on the road, like we're back on the road, we're back doing these events and things, I have to be unbelievably diligent with my health, my food intake, my spending, my eyes, everything. where my eyes go. I have to be very militant about that because over the years I've learned I just get fat, sloppy, and broke when I travel, and it's just bad, you know. And because
hey, Justin, let me give you a third one. I'm gonna give you a third one. I did this once when I was in college, and I was a student leader, and so I would put all the school purchases on my personal credit card, and the school would just reimburse me. And I thought I was running a scam here because I was trying to build up miles and all that kind of nonsense. That's a whole other call. But here's what happened. In the middle of the gap one month, my transmission fell out of, or my clutch burned out on my little cheap Toyota that I was driving. At the same moment, I got a $1,000 reimbursement check. I did not have $1,000 or $700, whatever it cost to get a new clutch. And so I had that check, I cashed it, and I went and got my car fixed. And that money did not go right back into the pot to pay the credit card off.
Yeah, that's it.
And so the life hit me in the gap there, and I just didn't have the discipline to do it. Very, very few people do. That's why we don't play with them.
And so what I do is what I suggest you do is you set up a separate account, checking account, for just travel only, reimbursable expenses. How much do you think your travel is going to be in a month? Money.
I wouldn't expect it to get more than $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay. As quickly as you can, seed that one account with $3,000 or $4,000.
Okay.
And use a debit card. And then basically you're using your money, and then you're putting the money back into your account that you've used of your money from them. That will cause your brain to function differently when you see something in the airport gift store that you think you need that you don't need. And because there's nothing in an airport gift store that anyone actually needs.
Hey, and just so people understand what Dave was saying earlier, I go on the road all the time doing private things, doing things with the team. Before I leave, an envelope literally appears on my desk with travel cash in it. That is it's you putting money in my pocket for travel.
Yeah, if you're not someone that carries a company debit card,
right.
we front you the cash.
We put cash on.
Literally,
That's right.
cash.
That's right. And you mentioned in Entree Leadership book once, and I'd never thought of this before. People challenge you on giving your employees company debit cards. Like, how could you trust them to do that? And your response in the book, it's been a few years since I read it, but it was something to the effect of, if you don't trust somebody enough, don't hire them, right?
If you can't give them $2,000,
they shouldn't be running around with your brand on their back.
And you pay them $150,000. Right. What kind of idiot are you? You know, I mean, you can't trust them with. I mean, you hired somebody you can't trust with $2,000, but you pay them $150,000 and they represent your brand.
Yeah, that's
oh my gosh, that's dumber than a rock.
Yeah.
But corporate America is dumber than a rock. So I'll just tell you, they're just stupid.
Bag of hair.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Devin's in Montana. Hi, Devin. I'm short on time. What's up?
Hi, Dave. And hi, Dr. Deloney. I just got to say, I love your show, Dr. Deloney. It's great. It helps me talk to my wife a lot.
Awesome.
Well.
Thank you much. Hey, we're right up against the clock. What's your question, brother?
So my wife and I, we're curious, when we're finished with step 3, should we, so she doesn't really like the house that we're in. I'm fine with it. But our house has almost nearly doubled in value with the crazy house market.
Hey, Devin, what's your question?
I'm wondering, is it wise to save a down payment seemingly against increasing house prices?
No.
Or pay off the house that we're in, even though my wife doesn't necessarily like it?
Pay off the house that you're in, because when you sell that house, they're going to magically write you a check and give you all that money back at a closing. You're not giving up the money when you pay down on your mortgage. You're storing it in your home, and it doesn't accidentally get spent on a bass boat then. Pay down on the house in baby step 6 in order. Then when you sell the house and move up because your wife doesn't like the house, and son, you are moving.
You're moving, yes.
It's just a matter of when, okay? They're going to give you the money out of that house. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Zach and Megan are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Better than we deserve. Good to have you. Where do y'all live?
Dalton, Georgia.
Just down over the Tennessee line then, huh?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt did you pay off?
Just about $51,000.
Good for you. And how long did that take?
Right at 2 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started out around $35,000, and we're up to about $128,000.
Nice jump. Okay, so what kind of debt was the $51,000?
We had some medical bills, some student loans, and some auto loans.
So y'all were kind of normal.
Absolutely.
How long you been married?
7 years.
Okay. So I guess somebody got a job that didn't have one? Or how did you go from 35 to 128?
I got graduated with my bachelor's and got a real estate license and an insurance license, actually, and she graduated with her master's degree.
In what?
Social work.
Okay.
Yep.
And were you working before that?
Yeah, just part-time jobs.
But I mean, you took on a big income then.
Yes.
And then your income went way up with real estate.
Yes.
Okay.
What
good.
a time to stumble into that job, man.
Wow. Excellent. So what happened that made you decide get out of debt is good for our new young marriage?
Well, we actually saw you live in 2015. Mm-hmm. Then we kind of did Diet Dave for a little bit. And
Diet Dave. There's a new one. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely didn't go all the way, and then and so we got your book, and then later on actually went through the class. And when she came along, our little one, a couple years ago, that's when we really decided we wanted to change the family tree.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. This just got real. We got a baby. We got to like be grown-ups and stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So then you get the book off the shelf and go, no ish, we're doing it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow. Good for you.
Who had the conversation with who?
That was probably a little more me. I would when I first heard about you, I was working for someone. It was about 8 years ago, and I was cleaning pools. And it was this, I was riding around with a business owner. He was in this old broken down van that was paid for. And we listened to your show every morning. It came on the radio, and I was like, this guy is crazy. And I did not buy into it. It wasn't until I got closer into real estate and actually met a lot of wealthy people that when I mentioned your name, they spoke highly of you and the plan. And I was like, okay, there's definitely something behind this.
So Megan, you just went like you were not in at all, huh?
No, I was definitely on board. It's more just trying the discipline of buckling down. I think we were newly married, and I feel like our first couple months of marriage, everything comes at you at once, financial issues, and you're trying to navigate those. And so he came to me with this plan, and I just thought he was crazy, but I've always trusted him, and here we are 7 years later, and I'm glad that I did. So.
Yeah. What happened at the 2-year mark? The real estate thing where you got the influence
that's
of the wealthy people?
when she was born.
She's 2 years old. Okay.
Yes.
And what's your 2-year-old's name?
Ren.
Ren. Okay.
Yes.
Sweet. Very good. Good.
And Zach, are you a schemer? Like, and I say that not in a bad way, but like, you're a pool cleaner, and then like, I'm gonna do insurance, I'm gonna do real estate. Like,
He hopped around a little bit. Yes.
But you seem like a guy that's always got a plan, and I can imagine sitting down and being like, all right, I got a new plan to get out of debt, and you're like, all right.
I'm about as nerdy as it get. I started in taxes and then went to real estate, and then went from real estate to insurance, and I kept my real estate license, but
Megan,
yes,
you must be the funnest human being ever to counterbalance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
That's awesome.
Yes. He's definitely the nerd. I'm the free spirit.
There we go.
Definitely. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? You pay off $51,000 in debt in 2 years.
The communication for sure, and really just getting together on a plan and giving that why we're doing this, what the goal is, and having that shared goal. Like what's our plan? I had someone tell me in real estate, actually, they were planning on retiring at 55, and I was like, "How you doing that? You know, are you planning on hitting the lottery? What is that?" And he's like, "No, I mean, I'm saving for retirement. I'm planning for retirement." And I don't know. It was just I couldn't fathom that. And so as we got on the plan and we started learning more, I was like, okay, if we get on board, we're both of us are not 30 yet. I was like, I think we can get this done and we can actually retire early. And so we started talking about retirement at an early age now, and it's just, I don't know, having that why is very important.
It is. So, Megan, what do you say? What's the reason you all got out of debt? I mean, what is the thing you did that got you out of $51,000 in debt?
Definitely discipline, and really working to be content. I think it's really hard. You scroll through social media and you see everyone doing everything. And so I think really being content where we were, when just in our living situation and just everything, our jobs at the time, and being content in each season of life, and working together, and convincing myself that I was content, I eventually became content. So it's a spiritual state of being that you have to aspire to. You have to want to do it. It doesn't just come on you like a weather pattern or something. I mean, you have to decide, I'm going to be content. And that's very cool. I like that. Coming from a free spirit in particular, it's very important. Yes.
Yeah. And because that's, I'm the spender out of the two of us. Sharon's the tightwad, the saver. And so for me to stop spending required that same exercise, even though I'm a nerd spender, which is a little weird. But the spending part, you know, I distinctly remember going to Costco and leaving with nothing. And it was like this personal spiritual victory, because I thought it was like a federal law. You had to spend $200 every time you went in there. Like, that's why they check your little thing when you're checking out, you know, make sure you spent $200, right? And so it was a breakthrough. I was like your age when that happened. And I suddenly went, I don't have to have stuff. Wow. That's like I'm off drugs or something. It's pretty cool. And so that's very insightful. Very well done. Good job, you guys. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Who were your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you?
We definitely had family that supported us through this, especially our grandparents. Our grandparents thought this was a lot of common sense. And
they're right.
I told them you made a lot of money off selling common sense.
They're right.
And it really is. The family behind that really did help us for sure.
Cool.
I think, I know y'all know this, but it's important for me to say it. I hope y'all don't miss what you've done for her. She is not going to understand the angst and that, what do we do? We can't believe we owe this money and we can't make it this month, or inflation's crazy. Inflation's going to be annoying. It's not going to be catastrophic for y'all, right?
Right.
And the work y'all did those 2 years to lay a sidewalk for this young one to grow up on is family generational transformational. So,
and from a mental
blessing.
standpoint, the peace that's in their house, because you sit here and talk about contentment.
There's a different air in the home.
The way your child feels in the air of that house is different because you're content.
It's right. And you hear that old saying that you just have to turn the wheel 1 degree and eventually that car turns all the way around. y'all turned it much more than 1 degree, but just by altering the air a little bit to where y'all aren't bickering as much, or y'all aren't complaining, or you're not as frustrated, or you don't have to go have the new whatever, or you don't have to have another scheme just to survive.
Mommy's going retail therapy.
That's right. And Dad's got another plan, and then another plan.
Unbelievable.
And but you don't have to do that, and it changes the electricity in your home. And man, what a gift you've given her. Thank you all on behalf of parents everywhere. Thank you.
Just beautiful. Absolutely fabulous. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. How ordinary people build extraordinary wealth, how you can too, just like those wealthy people you talk to. And also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you. And we're going to give you a copy, or give you a 1-year subscription to Financial Peace University, and every dollar as a Ramsey Plus subscription. And if you haven't been through, go ahead and go through it. And that'll help you move on towards the Baby Steps Millionaire. If you have been through it, give it to somebody. That's why we want to give it to you, so you can pass it along. All right, Zach and Megan and Ren, Dalton, Georgia, $51,000 paid off in 2 years. Make it 35 to 128. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Another family tree changed right there because they made different choices. I love them. They're heroes, man. You guys are heroes. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. I'm Dave Ramsey. Wendy is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Wendy. How are you?
I am fabulous today, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Just a straight shoot here. The point of the call is my spouse and I are not on the same page as far as getting on this plan together. Mm-hmm. I do know that the full reason is me. We've been together 20 years. I'm an alpha female. I've always led. I'm the firstborn. I've been a single mom. All of that just puts me the powerhouse, and my husband has been amazing to endure all of that comes from me. But I gotten to a point this year, and something John Deloney had said the other day on the show is like, sometimes you're just in the corner, just getting pounded and pounded and pounded, and just waiting for the bell to ring for the round so you can stand up and reset. And I just shook with identifying with that this year.
You're getting pounded, or you're pounding him?
No, she's getting pounded.
We're in life. We're both kind of getting pounded in that way. But in like the last year, 3 kids got married. We empty nested. My mom died.
Oh, I get you. Okay, it's not between you and your husband. It's just life coming at you.
No.
Okay.
Oh no, we're not going to get into pounding, but we're going to have a tough conversation coming up. And I just. I'm actually 2 business days into I'm all in on this ship. And in these 2 days, I have contacted an open credit card that I found that I had. I didn't think I had credit cards for over 25 years, but I had like a furniture store card that had nothing on it, but it's sitting there open. So I called and canceled that. I canceled a subscription. Today I'm having a conversation with my boss about getting more hours and changing my W-2. And I had a conversation with the bank on Friday about a car that I potentially should sell. My husband is looking at me like I am a crazy woman. And when I get in change is happening mode, you can hear the Lego bricks build a wall right up in front of him. Just a brrr. And I've learned over the course of time that if I just calm down and start doing the thing and prove that it's working without any demand on him or any request of him that he eventually swings around and comes on board. I do want us to be together on this. And when I look at the numbers, I bring in 22.5. He brings in 55,000. When I look at my debt, I keep looking at it, mine and his at the moment, just because the swing around of us getting together.
No,
I need to
just tell me how much debt your family has.
I don't know for sure from his perspective, because I just found out that there's more credit cards in his wallet than I knew of.
Okay. How long have y'all been married?
And 15.
Okay. And what would you, if you were going to guess how much debt is in his name, what would you guess?
If I think on his history, maximum probably 15 on cards. We
Okay.
both
What is owed on your
have
car?
medical debt.
What's owed on your car?
On the car is 18.5.
Okay. And what else? What other kind of debt is there?
He has a car that's only got like $3,000 left on it. So the big picture, we don't have tons, but a lot of it is secretive, and I'm all in. Here's the super thing: losing my mom, losing a grandparent. He has some sort of retirement through work. I do not. I was self-employed for a lot of years, and then I worked in an atmosphere where I was like, oh, he has insurance, no big deal. And
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
This is John. You know what I hear? I hear somebody who has been scratching and clawing and fighting for a long, long time. And
there's still a scared single mom talking to me right now.
That's exactly right. I'm still talking to a single mom who does not know when the next shoe is going to drop. And this year, a whole bunch of shoes have dropped at the same time. And the way we often respond to all the shoes dropping is we default to the scariest moments our bodies have had to endure. And most of us start grabbing for control. I'm just like you. I come up with a new plan, and I'm going to go see this happen come hell or high water, and I will swing and fight and scratch and claw and take everybody with me. And some people are a little wiser, and they stop and they actually take a step back and scan the landscape and say, what's coming next? Is this threat real? Is this one not? But the next move forward cannot be another control grab. It can't be another survival move. It has to be a move towards connection.
So another way of saying that is the next move is a finesse move, not a blunt trauma move.
Right.
Okay. And
I hear that.
And a finesse move might be that. What if I told you 90% of you winning with this money thing 5 years from today is dependent upon you all being on the same page? Only 10% of you doing all this gyration you've been doing since Friday.
Right.
You got to get him on the same page. It's paramount. Because that's where the peace is going to come from. That's where the quality relationship is going to come from. And the data points tell us that your probability of overall wealth building and success is so much higher when you're working together. And you might pull him into this, almost shame him into it by you getting your act together and he doesn't. But generally speaking, that doesn't work. What does work is to stop and just start having conversations about the future and go, hey, the single mom that used to be so scared she couldn't eat Friday, that we had beans and rice, rice and beans, and we had ramen noodles, and that was it, is activated down inside of me right now because of all this crap that's happened. And there's part of me that's just scared, and I'm just driving towards some financial peace because I've never really had any. And I need some help with this. And I know you think I'm a little crazy because I am. But I want to go through this class, and would you just go through the videos with me and watch them with me and tell me what you think? And if you can get him to sit down and watch 9 Financial Peace University videos with you, by the way, if you can get him to watch one, I'll probably get him to watch the rest because we're that good. Okay, but get him to watch 1 or 2 with you, and then it'll start to be his idea and your idea together. And what you're doing is you're setting a vision together for the future instead of, well, I got this figured out. He's tired of me beating on him, so he can just sit over there and watch while I go do it right until he wakes up. That's just highly inefficient. There's no finesse in that play.
And Wendy, I'm going to one up. Ready?
Ready.
I would love for you to follow that conversation with the truth that y'all have been married for 15 years, but y'all haven't been married. Y'all have been co-managing a house for 15 years. And if you sat down and look across the table from him and say, I want the next 15 years to be different. I want us to be together. And that means I'm going to have to change, and I'm sorry for running over you for 15 years, and I'm going to have to be different. Will you practice that with me? And by the way, you're not perfect either, bub, and let him be open about some of the challenges he has. Because really this is about, man, Dave nailed it, man. This is about y'all coming together. I've found the greatest way to come together is to, I'm going to put my shield and sword down first. And that means he may kill you. He's not going to, but that means he could hurt you. And you haven't been hurt in a long time because you haven't let nobody that close. You haven't let anybody that close, right?
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
really
brave.
like you.
You're brave.
You're a warrior princess,
Yeah.
but this one's going to be won at the diplomacy table, not with the sword and the shield.
All right.
Will you do that for you?
I will do that for us.
There you go. You hang on. I'm going to put you in Financial Peace University as my gift. It doesn't cost you a thing. Kelly's going to pick up. I'm going to sign you up for a year subscription. And the only sale you've got to make is to get his butt in front of a TV for an hour. That's always the only sale you've got to make. You can do that. My wife has gotten me to watch some things on TV that are just amazing, like Downton Abbey. I mean,
Dave,
if she can do
Sharon into Downton Abbey.
If she can do that, then you can get him to watch FPU.
That was your idea, Dave. That was.
I lost my man card right then. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Guys, one of the things that happened to me about 15 or 20 years ago, I started getting to meet people that were way smart and wise and were really speaking into certain areas of life and in a way that just blew my mind. And so in a sense, I kind of went hunting on behalf of all you guys that are listeners. And I found some of the best teachers and thought leaders on certain subjects. And I set about the business of making them my friends, and they are. And so, consequently, sitting here beside me, along with Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, but Meg Meeker and I have been friends now for 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, a long time.
I guess it has been.
Yeah.
And I've done lots and lots of events together. Meg has been in Smart Conference. She's been on this show many, many times. And it all started from a group of guys I was going through a Bible study with, and we read a book. Most of us had daughters that were grown or almost grown by then, but the book was called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. It was a New York Times bestseller. And I reached out to Meg and said, hey, I'm a huge fan. And she's like, well, I never heard of you. So, so she came on the show, and then we sold a whole bunch of her books. And so now she's heard of me. And so she's coming down. Yeah. She's down here from Michigan, her hometown, hanging out in Nashville today, launching a brand new course, a masterclass called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters Masterclass. And it all stems from the thesis and the subject matter, the nuanced subject matter of the entire book itself. And welcome back, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
So good to have you. I want to set the table for all of our listeners who might have just joined us for the first time in the last month or 2 months or whatever. The thesis, the underlying theme of Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters is there's a huge correlation between women who succeed in every part of their lives and their relationship with their dad.
You bet. And I think it's a very overlooked relationship. I think that fathers today, and it's worse than, when you and I started talking back in 15 years, they're so maligned, they're so marginalized, they're told by our culture, nobody needs you, your kids don't need you, just sort of step out of the way. And the exact opposite is true. We need good dads, good men to step up and engage, and particularly with their daughters now. And so that's why I really believe the message of the book is more pertinent and powerful now than it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's huge. And the data that you presented in the original book and is again in this class that just backs up that idea is that is amazing. The negative behaviors of daughters, young women, and the positive behaviors really does. Man, it can really be changed by the relationship with their dad.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing is, and I need fathers to realize this, you don't need to overhaul your personality. You don't need a PhD in psychology. By implementing some very simple steps and strategies, you can dramatically change your daughter's outcome, success, relationships across the board. And fathers don't know this. And that's my job and my mission. Is to really grab hold of fathers and say, if you only realized how important you are in your daughter's life and in your son's as well, your life would never be the same.
That's ringing so true to me. I know this. I do this for a living, and I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and so I can talk theory all day, and I can talk all the classes. It is really hard to feel like I've got value when my 6-year-old puts her hands on her hips and says, "No, Dad, I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah.
It's just simpler for me to say, "Cool, man, your mom's going to make sure you're fed. I'm going outside." And I don't have a toolbox. I don't have a toolkit. I don't have a picture of what leaning back into that looks like.
And worse than that, you have a whole culture that tells you that you don't.
I'm screwing her up.
That you're not even supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and so I know that, and I'm still saying, I should probably I'm going to back out of this thing, right? And I've got to fight that impulse. And so I'm so glad you're having this conversation. If I can't, and I don't say this in a self-serving way, but if I struggle with this, I'm just thinking of my buddies who haven't sat in grad school for the last 20 years and worked with families. I can't imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah. Well, you take a divorced dad who's living on his own and he's having daughters over the weekend and he just feels very insecure. Or you have fathers whose daughters are estranged. And incidentally, I'm talking about daughters who are 4 to 44 to 84. Every daughter wants more of her dad. She wants more time if she had a good relationship, or she wants more healing if they had a tough relationship. But really, the Strong Father, Strong Daughter Masterclass is the toolbook. In the book, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, I really tried to show dads why they're so important. I wanted them to understand how their daughters see them, which, from what I've heard over the years, is just transformational for men. But then they said, okay, now what do I do? I get why I'm so important, but now how do I live that out with my daughter? And, I got so many letters from men over the years. I said, okay, here you go. So that's what the masterclass is. It's all online. And it's very, very user-friendly. It's basically a lot of short videos from me saying, here's what your daughter sees. Here's what you do. Here's who you are to her. Like, you're her first love, which is true. You're her hero. You are the most important man in your daughter's life. A lot of moms don't want to hear that, but it's true. My job is to speak for kids. Yeah. My job is to speak for kids. And that's why I'm so passionate on helping dads understand their value and how critical they are. And it's, it would change the country. If dads understood how important and powerful they are, our schools would be different. Our neighborhoods would be different. The country would be safer if we just elevated our dads. And that's my goal. It's really as much of a movement as it is teaching.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. So there's 10 chapters in the book, and each section in the course talks about one of the chapters. So
Exactly.
10 courses.
So, well, yes, that's right. And each chapter, there's 2 videos for me. They're short, and the first video summarizes the point of the chapter. The second video says, okay, here are three things to do. You were always about that. Okay, Meg, tell them what to do. Tell them what to do. It's the way a guy thinks. I'm fine with philosophy, but men need to say, okay, now tell me what to do. Okay, do I touch her? Do I not touch her? When she doesn't want to hug me, do I keep on hugging her? Or do I back out? And so that's what I do, the practical steps. So that's how each chapter is broken down. So there's 10 chapters and 20 videos. And then I have some helps, some written things just to remind men.
You can find all of it at meekerparenting.com. We're going to come back with some of those practical how-tos with Dr. Meg Meeker, pediatrician, best-selling author. The material we're talking about, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters Masterclass, meekerparenting.com. Check it out there. You will be glad you did. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Joining me this half hour, Dr. Meg Meeker, best-selling author. The book Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters has now been made into a masterclass at meekerparenting.com, MEEKER, parenting.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Meg, when we start talking about the power that a dad has to speak life into a daughter, to make her more confident, less chance of being sexually promiscuous, less chance of being on drugs, higher chance of graduating from college. All of these are data points that actually come up.
Absolutely. And, I was trained as a physician to learn how to read studies and to always pull great data and to work around that. We don't just come and sort of make things up and say, this is how I feel and this is important. Everything I write has to be backed up by solid data. And the data is overwhelming on how important fathers are in their daughters' lives and in their sons. But our culture ignores it. They just motor over. And if you popularize a concept on the internet or social media, like, we don't need dads, women don't need dads, we can raise great kids without dads, that becomes sort of the mantra of the day, but it's wrong. And people in their hearts know it. Dads know it. But nobody comes along and says, this is how you're important, this is why you're important, this is how your daughter's life will change if you implement these things. Nobody tells them that because it's very much in vogue and in our culture to just beat the heck out of dads. I'm done with that. I'm sick of it.
You get standing ovations at our events when you say that, too, by the way.
Yeah.
People go, because it rings true in the heart.
It does.
Because no one is out there saying anything except, all the men in commercials on television are idiots.
Right.
All the men in the sitcoms are the weak sister. They're the idiot.
Yeah.
They're the 8-year-old smart aleck is in charge of the house in the sitcom. Yep. And it's like, didn't grow up in the house I grew up in, nor my kids grew up in, because I got to tell you, the inmates weren't running the asylum at our place. 3713 Faulkner Drive, that wasn't the way it was happening. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So can we flip this around? And I have found with the men I work with, I can talk about hey, you guys need to be doing this and this and this. And often I get I know. I often have to reverse that, and I hate being this way, but I have to say, if you don't, right, here's the consequence. And this is a data-driven consequence. This isn't me making it up like you said. There is more likelihood that, right?
Yes.
And it's this incredible power or strength, if you will. Dads can hurt their kids by acting certain ways or not acting certain ways, being absent or neglectful. Or they can capture the imagination of their kids and absolutely, as we talked about on the show, just change the family tree and change the family legacy. What's one or two things that dad sitting at home right now, an over-the-road trucker, an electrician who's listening to this, who's going to get home at 6 o'clock tonight, what's a couple of things dads can do like you can go do this. You can go flip these one or two switches and start making a difference in your daughter's life.
There's so many, but here's what I'd start. Every daughter needs affection and attention and affirmation. So the minute you walk in that door, she's going to be scouring you for clues about who you are. Does my dad see me? So you come home, put the stupid cell phone down, regroup, get into your home mode, not your business mode. You walk into the kitchen or wherever your daughter is and you look at her, you touch her on the shoulder and say, I'm so glad to see you. Boom. Changes her evening. Now she's safe. Now she's secure. She can go about doing what she wants to do. If you walk in the kitchen, you ignore her like she's not even there. You're texting somebody, you're talking to somebody else. She becomes invisible and she feels that she's not valued.
And it's been my experience that she will spend, and boys do this too, but she'll spend the rest of her life figuring out what's wrong with her. Why?
Exactly.
What did I do to make him not want to see me?
Exactly. Because her idea is that she's responsible for everything.
Yes.
So if you come in and you're mad, you're angry at her, it's her fault.
Yes.
If
you take that last meeting of the day home to greet your daughter with it. Yeah.
And unfortunately, we bring our problems at work home. The kids don't ask to be yelled at or angry, but if you have an argument with your boss, which I know nobody at Ramsey Solutions ever
nobody
does.
argues here.
Okay.
We argue for a living.
And you go home and you didn't want to argue with your boss because you don't want to lose your job. Then you walk in the house and you have to let all this anger out. Where does it go? It spills onto your 5-year-old or your 10-year-old. And those dynamics are set up in the family, and the daughter sees dad's upset. I did something wrong. I better go away.
Yeah.
Boom, just like that. And over, then she begins to realize if dad doesn't think I'm important, you know what, I'm really not important. But if she gets these clues throughout her life, even in her early years, man, dad really thinks I'm something, that girl's going somewhere. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And that's what the masterclass is all about.
You and I've talked about this before. I had the unusual blessing of working with teenagers when my kids were born at the church. And so I was reading all this youth ministry materials, and there was a guy named Josh McDowell out there writing. And he said, as a dad of teenage daughters, you will either hug your daughter or someone else will.
Yeah. You bet. Yeah. Exactly, because their need for male attention is so primal and so real, and it drives them. And fathers don't see that. Fathers see themselves as, well, I guess I'm important, I should do this, but mom's really got this, because mom understands daughters. I don't understand daughters, so I'm going to kind of...
I don't even understand mom. How can I understand daughters?
No. Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's
but
the
that's
next masterclass, Dave.
That's why it's called a masterclass.
And hey, can we say
that's
this?
why I'm here with two guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we say, I think a common mistake men get is that energy, that connection is sexualized, and it's not.
It's not.
But there's a difference between that sexual energy and connectivity,
Yes,
right?
completely.
And affectionate, right? And so
Completely.
we need to tell dads, you need to get down on a knee and let your daughter see her and touch her on the face and touch her shoulders and say, I see you and I love you. And it's not a romantic gesture, it's a connectivity,
No.
right?
And daughters know that.
Of course they do.
Yeah, they know that.
It's the men that I see, they get nervous and back away from that
But here's when they
engagement.
get really nervous, John, is when she turns 12 or 13 or 14, and he walks in to hug her, and she's standing there like she's got porcupine needles all over her. And dad goes, oh, okay, she doesn't like me anymore. She's becoming a teen. I'm going to back out. wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. And that's the time. Step in,
Yeah.
but do it differently. Don't give her a bear hug in front of her friends or anything.
Right.
That's when in the evening, you go up at the end of the day, you sit on her bedroom floor. How was your day? I haven't seen you. You're going to go change the oil in the car. Hey, will you come in jump at the car? I haven't talked to you. I don't know how your week is. Just come with me. That changes the kid's life. And dads don't get that.
Yeah. It's
But with a little bit of instruction, a little bit of willingness, boom.
And it's not hard.
And here's the thing. You and I have talked about this, too. We've even talked about it on the air. One of the guys said, take your little daughters on date nights. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we get all dressed up, and I would take them to a fancy restaurant, to a movie or something. I did that, I'm guessing 5 or 6 times each in their entire lives. Mm-hmm. And if you ask these grown Ramsey women, they will tell you I dated them every weekend.
Every weekend.
Because I got so much credit for so little effort. The exponential growth of that in their head is unbelievable.
Huge. I did the same thing with my dad. I mean, he would take me out and we'd have coffee or hot chocolate on Saturday mornings, and he probably did it 3 times. To me, did it every weekend. But that's the power of a dad in a daughter's life, and that's what men need to see. Is you don't need to do things a lot. You don't even need to be great at what you're doing.
You don't have to be rich. Right?
No, just try.
We did this the other day. I've been hanging out with East Tennessee Hillbilly a lot lately, and
who would that be?
I don't know. And I had 2 turkey decoys out in my front yard, and somehow I don't understand. My daughter and I ended up playing Dragon Protector with some sticks that were swords or whatever, and I don't know. I still don't fully understand what we were doing.
Did you kill the decoys?
We were protecting the decoys from some wool dragons or something. I don't know where her head was, but I heard her tell my wife. We spent out there about an hour running around and rolling around the grass, and she told my wife at bedtime when she was reading her book, she said, today was the best day of my life. Oh, wow. And I thought it cost me an hour. An hour.
And I have a chapter, Protect and Defend Her.
Wow.
Every daughter wants it. Protect, and every daughter wants that from her dad.
Strong fathers, strong daughters, If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
If you are a business or an HR leader, you know your employees are dealing with a lot. Our employee wellness team, Smart Dollar, just did a study and found out that after living through one of the toughest times in history, 60% of employees say their mental health has gotten worse. Half say their mental health keeps them from doing their job to the best of their ability. Good leaders take their employees' mental wellness seriously. And because it's good for you, your team, your business, when your employees are healthy mentally. So give your employees a way to deal with their stress and put them on a path to care for their mental wellness. Dr. John Deloney, my co-host today, has the Anxiety Relief Checklist that gives your employees simple steps that they can take to relieve their anxiety so they can start bringing their full selves to work. It's free. To get Dr. John Deloney's anxiety relief checklist for your employees, go to RamseySolutions.com/anxiety checklist. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/anxiety checklist. Okay, John, I got anxiety reading that. An anxiety relief checklist. There's a lot going on. So I got anxiety and I want relief, and this is a checklist on what to do to get relief.
Yeah, there's just some man, we overcomplicate anxiety most of the time, and so it's something you can just walk through and say, okay. So it might be a season where you ate something that was bad. It might be a season where you're exhausted. You might be a season where you owe some people money and your finances are a mess, and the inflation is not annoying. It is catastrophic for you and your family, right? So you can walk through these things and say, which ultimately we're going to get to the bottom of what can I control here and what can I cannot control, and then how are we going to get after it?
Go to RamseySolutions.com/anxiety checklist. It'll help your team. For those of you that are in leadership, it is completely free. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. You'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
So, Dave, I'm going to tell you I cheated, and I read this one ahead of time.
Uh-oh.
It may be my favorite ever.
Well, you'll have to read it for everybody else now.
I know. I can't wait. Today's question comes from Jason in Illinois. Jason writes, my question is about income from a side hustle. I recently began sports betting and have built up a bankroll of about $4,000. So his side hustle is gambling. My wife and I have about $55,000 in total debt, excluding the house. We earn about $61,000 a year. I'm a saver, said the gambler. My wife is a spender. We don't have a budget and need an additional $500 to cover our bills for the month. I have agreed to withdraw. This is my favorite sentence I've ever read on the show. I have agreed to withdraw $250 a month from my sports betting account to help cover our shortage, but my wife would prefer I liquidate the account. Dave, what should I do? Oh, man, this is a real person. Oh, man.
There's a human out there
Dave,
that really asked that.
If we don't say something stupid, we're going to be employed forever. Forever.
Oh, man.
All right, so Jason, you're not
Jason, you're not from the South. Around the South, we would say, bless your heart.
Bless your heart. So, number one, gambling is not a side hustle.
Because you're not that good, you prideful, arrogant little jerk.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction. Number two, you're not a saver, you're a gambler. I sometimes, like, this guy sounds like he thinks he's not playing.
He thinks he's so good at it that it's a guaranteed income.
Yes.
That's what I meant by you arrogant, prideful little jerk. That's what I was saying. Yeah. There's an arrogance that goes with this type of addiction that he thinks he's the exception to the rule, and he thinks that MGM Grand was built by Santa Claus instead of by bettors who lost their butts to Caesar.
Right, in his palace. Yes. So liquidate this immediately, all $4,000. Put all $4,000, close all of your sports betting accounts. Take your wife out for a cheap meal and say you are sorry and that you have lied to her and you've been dishonest and you're going to go get help. And then go get a second job that you work for and that pays you every time.
And you earn money and stuff.
And never say that you have a $250 a month side betting account. Never.
No. He has $4,000 that's his money
that he earned,
and
in his
he
side
was going
hustle.
to bless his little wife by allowing her to use $250 of his $4,000 because he's that kind
From
of guy.
his business account.
He's a sweet guy that way.
No more separate accounts.
Now, did you hear all the sarcasm, folks? I just want to make sure you heard sarcasm in there because that's it's important that you heard that. You arrogant little self-centered, unbelievable. You need help, son.
Just don't say it because you're going to get us canceled.
No, I'm not going to get canceled. I own the show. How can I cancel me?
That'd be nice of you. I'm just kidding. Listen, man, you're not, I don't know how to say this. You're not well. I a buddy of mine who's a pastor here in town walked me through the increase in sports betting.
Oh, yeah.
In Tennessee.
Yeah, no,
and
period.
It's astounding.
Period. No, the number one fastest growing addiction in America, online porn. Number 2, online gambling, and most of it is sports.
But I didn't see the money.
We have a cool dude named Caesar doing commercials. Give me a break here.
Unbelievable the amount of money being spent
not
on sports betting.
funny. I have talked to 25 people in the past handful of months that have lost their families, their businesses, their jobs. Their wife is done, and it's all because he thought he was cute betting football. And it starts there. It's just, I'm sorry, you're not cute, dude, and you're not cute looking at porn either. It's not funny. It's not funny. You're a wuss, and you need help. And you are messed up. This is, and you just read your own email, how messed up you are. You have $4,000, and your wife, who is the only person on the planet who actually thinks you're cool, wants some money. And you are going to give her $250 of your $4,000. I want to choke you. Your job is to serve your family, not your sports betting addiction. So there is no data that says that people who sports bet end up wealthy. As a matter of fact, there's a ton of data that indicates that the person that you're betting with ends up wealthy and you end up with nothing. There is no data that says that when you act like that you own everything and you are throwing coins, what's the thing from Mary Poppins? Tuppence to the poor. You're throwing tuppence to the poor, like your poor little wife. We're going to give her a tuppence, or whatever that was. I can't even remember that.
She's not a poor little wife, though, Dave. She's the spender.
Yeah, she's the spender. He's the saver. See, dude, there's so many.
Here's the thing about this email, Jason. And some people, quite a few, in fact, can have a 1 or 2 drinks. They can go to dinner, have a drink, have a glass of wine, have a cocktail. Some, though, can't ever again. Some people can get together with their buddies and put $25 in on something, or go to Vegas once a year or whatever. You, my friend, probably are not that person. And so I'm suggesting you might have to close this account and never open it again.
Not maybe, you do.
Ever.
Because the language you're using indicates you got all kinds of issues that have anything to do with the sports betting.
That's right.
And the sports betting is going to get exasperated. I see it all in the language.
Yes, and you have to call somebody and say, I'm not okay.
You're not okay. You're a sick puppy. Gosh, I hope we weren't unclear. So it sounds like we're making fun of you because we are, okay? And
I'm not so much.
We are. No, you are. You're like, this is the worst email I've ever had. And if there are dumb people like this are on the planet, we're always going to be employed.
That's true.
You are making fun of him. But I mean, here's the thing, dude. It's so messed up that it's impossible to not make fun of it and give you a loving, kind, gentle answer with a straight face without being sarcastic, because everything in this is so freaking absurd.
That's it. It's the absurdity. So put the addiction aside. This is the way you treat your wife is absurd. The way you think that this is a side hustle is absurd. The way you think this is saving, you're a saver. You're a saver.
Is absurd. Everything in here is absurd, and so the absurdity has to be addressed, and we're doing that with sarcasm and humor.
Go get a job.
We just don't know what else to do.
Go get help. Go get a job.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Karen is in Phoenix. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I've been wanting to hear that. Listening to you for a long time.
Well, thanks.
Appreciate everything that you have taught me.
Well, thank you.
My question is, my husband and I have owned a small vending business, soda and snack machines, for about 20 years. I'm 72. He's 66. For the last couple of years, we feel that we're getting tired of the physical aspect of this business, the lifting and the carrying and whatnot.
How many machines you got out?
We have about 35 machines. we do it all ourselves, him and I. Some of the accounts we only have to service once a month, some of them once a week, some of them every 2 weeks. But we've done it all ourselves. We net about $2,500 a month from this business after our expenses. Now, we have someone who wants to buy it. He has offered us $60,000 for the business. That including, because we have about 10,000 in inventory. I'm figuring that the machines are worth about 30. I have net income 30, machines are worth 30, and the inventory about 10,000. And he offered us 60. But then we have to pay 10,000 to the broker. So that would leave us with 50,000. Now, we're not sure whether we should sell it or not. We don't have a lot. We sold our house 2 years ago before the big rise in real estate. So we put the money, we put $300,000 into a retirement account, into mutual funds, and we have about $75,000 in cash.
Okay, let me give you a couple of technical numbers that will help you with the analysis. Okay.
Okay.
There's 3 different ways to put a value on a business. One is what's called book value, which is if you just closed the business and sold off the stuff. In this case, the machines and the inventory, which would be $40,000.
Okay.
You could do that, and you think you'd get about $40,000. The machines are worth about 30, you thought, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't get to do that and calculate it on top of that with the income. You either sell it for book, which is the worst case scenario, and you put the money in your pocket that's in the machines, you sell the machines, you sell off the inventory, or you run the inventory through the machines, whatever, and you just end up and you close it up. Okay, so that would net you somewhere around 40. Another way to do it is a gross multiplier, which I would have no idea how to do in this business. But in some industries, you take your gross revenues, which is before all of your expenses, before any expenses, and you just have a multiplier like times 2 or something, or times 1 or 1.5, or what? In that case. But I don't even know what that is in this world. It really doesn't apply much in small business. The third way, the most accurate way, is after you paid someone to do the work, what would you net times 4 or 5? 4 would be if the person wanted a 25% rate of return. 5 if they wanted a 25, or 4 if they wanted 25% return. 5 if they wanted 20% return. Okay, so if we did that, we would say, okay, you're netting 30. If you paid someone $20,000 a year to run all of this for you, you didn't touch it, and you put 10 in your pocket as the owner, not as the labor.
Okay.
Not as you're getting paid for labor and being owner. But when you're selling the business, so if you said 10,000 times 5 would be 50, times 4 would be 40, and that's probably not that far off, really. You probably take $20,000 to pay somebody to do what y'all do.
Right.
You might net somewhere around the 10 range. So the 50's a good offer, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I would take it. Now,
would you?
Here's a fun idea, just for a twist. You want to throw a twist in it?
Yes, I'm open.
I'll take it, and I get to keep 2 of the machines, my choice.
Okay.
And locations.
Okay.
And you take the 2 sweetest machines of the 35, and you all keep servicing them so you don't get too bored sitting at home and looking at him.
Exactly. We thought about that. We thought we were going to sell them off individually and then just keep the 2 best.
Oh, okay. You could do that too. But I'll do the 50. That's really less than I want if you let me keep my 2 favorite machines and location with the machine. What would those net you?
Okay. Those would net us, let's see, the 2 best about $400, $500 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little something to do, just a little tickle. And later on, you can sell them if you want to.
The what?
You can sell them later on again if you want to.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes,
even to the
but
same
always
guy.
sell
Maybe
them.
even the same guy. Does that feel good? You want to sell it. I could hear it in your voice.
Yes, well, I do. I mean, but
You're tired of
I
lifting
wanna
cases of Cokes.
Yes, my husband's tired of lifting cases, and I'm tired of lifting candy bars.
Yeah.
They're heavy.
Yeah, they are.
And
I
we're
love
just
lifting
tired.
candy bars. I love lifting candy bars.
John, this is not to eat. It's to put in the machine. See, that you couldn't be in the business. You would eat the inventory.
I couldn't do this business.
You would eat the inventory.
This is like selling drugs for me.
gained.
No, I could never do
No,
this.
we gained.
Oh, he would. Yeah.
You gain a lot of weight in this business. But yeah, we want to do other things. We want to do something different. So, okay, that's a good offer.
I don't think the $50,000 net to you is a bad deal at all.
Okay.
Just based on the numbers you gave me. There may be something I don't know, there may be something I'm missing, but it sounds fairly accurate mathematically, and it does sound like it's time, which is the other part of the equation. Cash up front, no payments. No, you're not carrying back financing. Cash on the barrelhead. I want to see Benjamins in your deposited into your checking account. Real money.
She mentioned something, an agent, and I've never heard of that. So
business broker.
Okay, and all they do, they kind of like a real estate agent for businesses.
They sell businesses.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
for a commission. And it's not that unusual at all.
That's great. Huh.
And especially around something like it's got a route, like a tool business. It's got a route.
Okay.
Or a vending machine business has got a route, something like that. You get business brokers jump all over that stuff. So, open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Krista is in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hi, Krista. I'm short on time. Go fast.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for answering my phone call. My question is student loans. I am roughly $360,000 in student loan debt.
Good Lord. Are you a doctor or a lawyer?
I'm a pilot.
You're a pilot. What do you make?
Yes, sir. Right now, I'm currently in the military, so I'm making about $75,000 a year.
Why didn't the military pay for you to be a pilot?
So they do offer that program, but I was the first one to go to college in my family, so we were very uneducated about the process, and I was not sure that was even a thing until I joined the military. So now here I am, and I'm not really sure what to do or how to pay for this because we already have a fixed interest rate of about 2.5 being in the military, and I've deferred it as long as I can, and unfortunately it's at the moment where I have to pay, and it's roughly $2,000 a month. No, sir.
Okay. When do you get out of the military?
My contract is for 8 years.
Starting when?
Starting about 2 months ago. You have to finish flight training, which takes about 3 years, and then your contract begins. So I'll be in for about 11 years by the time I can get out.
Oh, man.
And, like, my mother, like, she helps as much as she can, but I'm trying to avoid...
No, your mother can't help you with $350,000, honey. You're going to be living on nothing and barely paying the bills until you get out of the military, I think. Hang on. We're going to try to set you up with one of our financial coaches, and maybe they can see something I'm not seeing in the initial distressing 2 minutes of this phone call. We want to help you, but boy, you just trapped yourself, it sounds like, kid. If you can get out of the military, you need to go commercial so you can make some money. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. My co-host today, Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling book, and we're number one best-selling author of the #1 best-selling book. I'll get that spit out correctly here in a second. You talk and you call in and talk, we'll help you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Alan is in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Hi, Dave and John. I'm doing better every day. What an honor to talk to both of you.
You too, sir. How can we help?
Well, I'll be quick. I'm not here to waste anybody's time. I'll give you the context and then the question. I'm 24, married, got one child, makes $60,000 a year in union construction. Right now, however, I'm on total temporary disability. Roughly 3 months ago, I was buried in a building collapse and was buried totally alive. Due to the work of the coworkers and firefighters that got me out within 2 hours and saved my legs within 5 minutes. So I'm back home. I'm out of the wheelchair. I'm in therapy. I still got probably another 4 weeks until I start doing some light duty stuff. Broke leg and shoulder and had a small brain bleed. Was on the ventilator for a little bit. Some other stuff. But the questions I've got for you, I've retained lawyers for other stuff, but it kind of revolves around if there's anything ruled negligent, which is kind of what you're thinking, I'm sure. Is as far as the settlement wise, how long do I wait? I'm renting right now. I don't have fancy cars. I got what I need. I was in baby step 2. Right now I've got about $5,000 in savings, and I've got $2,500 in past medical debt. Obviously everything's being taken care of as far as I'm on disability, and then everything's being covered by workers' comp. Just those main 2 questions is just, how long do I wait if there's a settlement? And then do I pay off that $2,500 that I've gotten the past medical debt? I was in the baby step 2. I've been through FPU. I've used your ELPs for everything from my taxes to my insurance. I've got disability insurance. I felt like I'm done.
You've been through hell. You've been through hell.
It's been interesting.
That was an amazing adventure that you've been on, man.
Right.
How long ago was the accident?
It was end of February, so it's been just over 3 months.
Wow.
I've been walking here for about 2 weeks.
So you're up walking now?
Yes, yep, up walking. I've got surgery coming up here in 2 or 3 days. They're going to take a screw out of my knee that's kind of messing with my walking. I should get a little better, but that should be the end of that. The brain bleeds.
You're a tough motor scooter. How you managing the pain?
We're off of Percocet, so we're just on Tylenol now. So
we're never going back, right?
That's the plan. Yeah,
No.
I was on there.
We're never going back. We're never going back, right?
Correct.
There you go.
Percocet makes buildings fly.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, the Percocet before that ketamine's a little hard on you, and Dilaudid and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, you got messed up. So,
sorry, man. I'm glad you're lucky, man. I'm glad your little girl's got her daddy with her.
Right. So, it's just I couldn't find anybody on YouTube that had the scenario that I did outside of maybe inheritance questions, but I'm just looking for some counsel.
It's early to have this discussion because right now I'm just happy you're up walking around. I'm out of breath listening to you.
Yeah, true.
But a year from today, 2 years from today, 5 years from today, have you thought that far out on what you're going to be doing for a living?
Well, I continued as far as the relationship with the employers. Still been great. They're grateful for everything. It's still under investigation to exactly what happened. I was the only one that was
their
injured.
building that fell in?
We're a general contractor, and I'm a union carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working on a project that's, about 30-some buildings. It's a big campus, about $800 million. The company itself runs about 500 guys in the field. And
that you work for. But if there is negligence, it's the company you work for.
At this point, the lawyers, it's third party. You can't sue your own employer. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of looking like excavators. I work in heavy concrete as far as foundation wise. Mm-hmm. And what seems to have happened is, we came in the same day. They dug out dirt to do some, foundation work, and then the foundation blew out and buried me. So that's as far as that stands,
So you
it's
think
not
long term with your injury, you'll recover enough to go back to doing your job?
I do. The doctor already said, I tore 3 rotator cuffs and a bicep, so overhead stuff's probably not really going to be in there. But I love the industry. I love working with people. It's not in my plans to move away from this type of industry, if that kind of answers the question.
And so you'll be back to making an income similar to you used to make.
Yeah, they're
workers'
trying
comp
to get back
and workers'
to where
comp
it
and
was.
disability will cover you until then.
Yeah, workers' comp, they're getting to me within $100 of my paycheck where I was.
Okay. So mathematically, if I'm understanding, Alan, here's what I'm trying to get my head around. Mathematically, if I'm understanding, you go from disability workers' comp to back to working again over some period of time, and you're going to have the same income as you had before the accident. Everything's going to be running right along. So any settlement that you get would be to cover any more surgeries that you have to do, or any other injuries anything you have to do regarding the injury, or it's just gravy. You don't really need the money. Your life is going to go on like it was before the accident, and the money that you get, mathematically speaking, will be just to will just cause you to have a gravy on the biscuit, to have a little extra, right?
Right,
So
mathematically.
my point is, how long do you wait for money that you didn't need anyway? As long as you need to wait to get the maximum amount. And so,
as far as
your attorneys that are advising you on this negligence lawsuit can tell you what the timeline looks like, and if it's 4 years, it really doesn't matter because you're going to have the same income anyway, and you're going to be moving right along. Am I missing something?
Right. I was just kind of thinking, if it's something crazy like $1 million, is there a timeline that you wait to let that kind of soak in?
No.
Or it doesn't really matter. It's already, that timeline's already been used up by then.
No, you're gonna have a long timeline. They don't give up $1 million easy.
2 years.
They don't give up $1 million easy. It's going to take a while.
And remember this.
And you don't have to have it to eat.
Yeah, and the idea of a settlement.
Yeah.
The idea of a settlement is to make you whole, not a. It's not a scratch-off ticket.
It's not you didn't hit a lottery ticket.
Right, and so you might get $1 million, but you just said it in passing. This is going to cost you some. This is going to shave some of your life off, right? This is going to affect you 20 years from now with a hip replacement, or 30 years with a knee replacement, right? So you want to bank some of that stuff and be smart about it. Don't think, oh, cool, we can buy Ferraris now, right?
Or now we can buy a house with it.
Yeah.
And not even. So I would continue your life as if you weren't getting a settlement, and then if you get one, it's just extra money. That's my point. And then the timeline doesn't matter as much. You're not waiting to buy a house on this settlement. You're not waiting to do something on this settlement because you're not waiting on the settlement. You're moving on with your life. Man, I'm sorry for what you've been through.
I'm sorry too. I'm glad you're safe.
Terrible. Market over the last couple of years has been unique. It's been cray-cray. Yeah, house prices have gone up like a rocket. Hungry buyers are pouncing on homes. Now there's a plot twist. The Fed is up the ante. They raised the federal funds rate for the first time in 3 years. We're seeing mortgage rates go up as a result. And that's got a lot of you worried about higher mortgage rates, and maybe even a recession might make buying or selling a home more difficult. So let's just take a breath. Whew. Turn off the news. Just get a little perspective. A whole lot goes into buying or selling a home. Not just market conditions and not just the news and not just mortgage rates. Anytime you're looking to buy or sell a home, you need to do your homework, team up with a pro who really knows their stuff. So if you want more info on how the Fed works, why this interest rate hike happened, and what you can do about it, and a bunch of spin from the media, head on over to RamseySolutions.com/rates. You can also go to RamseySolutions.com/agent to talk to someone from our endorsed local providers program. These Ramsey trusted real estate agents know how to handle market changes, and they'll help you make smart and informed decisions. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us. Michael is with us. Michael's in L.A. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and John, how's it going?
Good, man. How can we help?
Yeah, so I'm 24 years old. I make $170,000 a year. The company I work for is great. Culture's great. Everything about it's great. I work remote.
You're 24 and you make $170 a year? What do you do?
So I work in fulfillment and logistics.
What do you fulfill?
No, he logists.
So
supply chain, right?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of e-commerce. Basically like QVC is a kind of our.
You are aware that you are a unicorn, right?
I guess so, sir.
24-year-olds that make $170,000 a year do not grow on trees, dude. It's very impressive. Very impressive.
You must be very, very good at what you do. That's incredible.
Thank you so much. It's an honor coming from you guys. Let me come up with the problem. So, all my life I feel like I'm still searching for more and more. I'm great at my job, but I feel like I can do more. And I know with culture these days, company culture at least, I'm afraid of leaving my company. I've only been here for 8 months, but before this role, I was doing the same exact level. I'm a director level currently right now, and I feel like I could become a VP level, in the next 6 months. And I just wanted some guidance. Am I being too confident? Am I being too hasty? I feel like I want more. I feel like I want a larger scope. I feel like I want to do. Be even better than I am right now. Am I wrong for feeling that way or looking to leave my company within 6 months?
You're conflating a lot of things into a single stream, right? Why do you want to be a vice president?
Larger scope.
Why do you want to have larger scope?
I feel like I want to do more. I want to make more changes. I want to.
Why? What will you get? You want to make more changes. What does that mean?
I want. I guess the question would: why would anyone want a better paying job, or why would anyone want more?
Okay, here
work to do. I want to learn more.
That's a great question. Okay, yes, and learning more. That's to say you conflate it a lot. Here's you're 24, so here's a powerful life lesson. If you can learn this at 24, I didn't get it until I was probably 37 or 38. And it was a humbling smack in my face, okay? Mm-hmm. Whatever job you get, whatever person you get to marry you, whatever car you buy, whatever kid you have, the second kid, third kid, eighth kid, you go with you. Mm-hmm. And so that stirring you have, that feeling, that sense of I'm just not complete. I'm just not. That's going to go to your next job, and you're going to get vice president, and you're going to be within 6 months. You'll be thinking, okay, where can I be CEO? And then I want to be a CEO of it. You're going to keep running and running and running until you decide you're all right where you are. And I'm going to learn this stuff. Now, here's the other side to that. We need really, really ambitious people in our culture right now. We got a lot of big problems that we need fixed. You, by the way, fix the supply chain. What are you doing? They're paying you $170,000. And there's a lot of big problems. So I want people to be ambitious. I want people to start businesses and work really hard and grow big businesses to help a lot of the challenges in the country. I just want the leaders in those companies to know that those big paychecks and that vice presidency, it's not going to fix you. It's not going to make you feel less restless. And you sound a lot like me, who the moment I got a job, I was applying for the other job. And then as soon as I got that job, I was thinking about where am I going to go next. And it wasn't until I landed and said, I got to fix my relationships with myself, with my past, with my family, with my friends. And then I have this state of peace. And then here's what's beautiful about it. then I could go do anything. And then I ended up in the job of a lifetime. And after that, I got the job of another lifetime after that, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right. That makes total sense.
What you're chasing is peace. And you will not get that in a job title or dollar amount.
Yeah, so to
I
pull
agree,
this up.
but going back.
Go ahead.
Going back to your first. Wait, do you want to talk, Dave? Sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay, going back to your first thing, like, is it wrong? Like, for example, I won't find peace, and I'll make it to VP and then COO one day. But is that wrong to is it wrong to realize that I need peace at a COO level? You're right, I need peace, but I'm a COO making $250 a year. Like, is that wrong to go through that?
Let's stop. You're attaching a moral construct to a linear condition. All right. Now, what I mean is that. Okay. Ambition is not wrong. Growth is not wrong. Changing jobs is not wrong. Doing it to try to become complete because you weren't complete at the last place is bad medicine.
It's not going to work.
In other words, John has a talk he does, says the title of the talk is Winning Doesn't Make You Well.
Right.
So you sound very smart and very legitimately, not illegitimately, ambitious. But the fact that you're struggling with, the part of you that's struggling with, is this wrong, as if it's a moral construct that it's bad to be ambitious, or it's bad to have growth, or it's bad to make a big income, or it's bad to move up the ladder, or it's bad to change jobs. None of those things are bad. None of them are good. They're ambivalent to the moral construct. But ambition for ambition's sake, ambition so that I feel good about the guy in the mirror, you won't ever catch him. He keeps moving. He's a bully in the schoolyard. He takes another step back, draws another line in the sand, says, when you step across this line, then you'll be happy. And then when you step across this line, then you'll be happy. And then when you step across this line, then you'll be happy. And happiness is not a line to cross.
Right.
And so it's not bad. Nothing you have done physically, morally, is in a moral construct that is bad. It's all good. Why you're doing some of it, maybe, I'm going to guess, John, just listening to you, Michael, my estimate would be that 20% of why you're doing this is brokenness. 80% is all good reasons.
Right.
But you're piling them all in together, and the brokenness part is making you question the whole idea.
So let me tell you that a shapeshifter in my career. I got a job way over my head at a real young age, very much like you. I was pretty good at what I did, and they took care of me. And it wasn't until I got around people that were one step ahead of me, the vice presidents. And then I realized, they know this stuff really well. They had something I didn't have. We all had knowledge. They had wisdom. I'd love to see you stay put for a year, for 2 years, and learn the business. And not just how logistics work, but how people work and how the cycle's going to work through a recession. And get some of that wisdom, some of those scars and strength. And then you will be an incredible vice president. You'll go into that stuff with confidence and wisdom and peace.
You're an incredible young guy.
Yeah.
Don't look for healing in movement. It's not there. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. You can drop by and see us anytime if you'd like. We do the show from 1 to 4 Central Time every day, Monday through Friday. And we'd love to have you. There's usually 50 to 200 folks sitting out here. It's completely free. That's how much we charge, and that's how much it's worth. So thanks for coming. And also, we got a great visitor center. The cookies alone are worth the price of free, and so's the free coffee. It's worth the price of free. Also in the lobby is our debt-free stage. On that stage is Jordan and Sarah. Hey, guys, welcome to the Ramsey Show. Congratulations on being debt-free.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Where do you guys live?
Just a little bit east of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off?
Just over $169,000.
Love it. I'm going with 170 then. Okay. So how long did this take?
15 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We started at $126,000 and went up to $185,000.
Good. Good for you guys. What do y'all do for a living?
Well, she's a teacher, and I own a photography and videography real estate company.
Oh, very good. Very good. What do you teach?
Special education, high school.
Oh, wow. That's a brave soul right there. I'm proud of you. We need you bad.
Hers is the harder job, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
What'd you do today? I took a picture of a building. What about you?
Wrangled 20 kids.
Dealt with parents all day.
Yeah.
Oh, the kids. That's the blessing. It's the parents.
Oh, wow. Way to go, guys. What kind of debt was the 170?
It was our mortgage.
You paid off your house! All right. Look at the weird people. Congratulations, weirdos.
Thank you.
Way to go, you guys.
Loving being weird. Yep.
Oh, very. How old are you two?
I'm almost 39, and she's 37.
All right. Not even 40 years old. What's the house worth?
It's in the range of 400, 420, somewhere around there.
Good for you. Way to go, guys. Yeah. Very, very cool. Well done. How much is in your retirement accounts?
Just about 100 right now.
Good for you. So you're on your way to Baby Steps Millionaire then.
Yep,
Good
exactly.
for y'all. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo! What got all this started 15 months ago? Because you guys got fired up here.
Well, it was during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always had this little fear of always losing my house, apparently. That's the thing that I just wanted to make sure I provide for her and our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of when the pandemic hit, that kind of sprung it in a little bit, and I was like, this would be awesome if our house was paid for, just in case something happened.
Did you ever have that experience when you were a kid or something, or what?
No, I've just always had a little bit of fear of providing. Like, I want to make sure I provide.
Good for you.
And so
it's an act of honor.
Yeah,
well done. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very chivalrous, I guess.
She is snickering.
She just shook her head.
She just snickered. I love it.
But yeah, that's really what started it. Is the pandemic didn't really hit us too hard. My company actually did pretty well over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
real estate with taking pictures of it because nobody wanted to go actually look at it with humans was a big deal. I mean, 360 view, virtual views, all that stuff went nuts.
All that stuff picked up.
We had a lot of people buying houses in this area sight unseen, only with the drone pics and the 360s.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
So, as soon as that happened, I was like, we probably need to start sending as much money as we can to the mortgage and get it all taken care of.
Might as well get rid of that one less fear, one less thing to be afraid of.
Exactly.
And the house is paid for. So, now that you did it, how's it feel? Was there that release you were looking for?
Yeah. I mean, it's already kind of sank in a little bit, but the last payment of clicking, well, we weren't really clicking a button. It was calling the bank and saying we need, them to pay off the last $30,000. That was a very cool moment, and we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's fun.
And it's fun telling people our house is paid off. We don't go around wearing T-shirts saying our house is paid off. But when that conversation comes up, it's cool to say.
Just get T-shirts to say weirdos and see what happens. Yeah, that'd
Dave's Weirdos. Gotcha.
That's it. I love it. Good for you guys, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you. What's the first big thing you're going to do now that the house is paid for?
Well, we've started putting money towards going on a 10-year anniversary wedding trip.
Where are you going to go?
Montego Bay.
Yeah, Montego Bay.
Yeah, nice.
That's going to be in August, and it's not really a thing of, oh gosh, we got to pay for this when we get back or anything. It's just all cash ready to go.
Write a check and enjoy it. Yeah, it's a beautiful area. You'll love it. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Good for you guys.
Thanks,
yeah.
Dave.
So, okay, how'd you get connected up to Ramsey stuff? Sorry, John.
I don't know if this is a really funny story, but when me and her were dating, I guess I forced her to listen to one of your podcasts while we were in the car.
Not only is he chivalrous, but he's romantic.
Yeah.
His car, his rules.
Yeah.
Nothing says I love you like, hey, let's listen to this guy on the way to our date. No smooth jazz, no old pop songs.
Let's get a hillbilly on the radio.
She was pretty cool, but I wanted to make sure she was going to be debt free at some point. So.
Man, your chivalry is shining through, my friend.
But I had more debt than she did, so it was.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of knew about you for a while, and I guess when she heard one of the podcasts, she kind of picked it up and started reading the book, and it just kind of all started from there.
All right, very cool. Good for you guys.
What was the who sat down with who and had the hard conversation about let's suck it up for a year or two and pay this thing off?
I think it was more me.
Yeah.
I had just gone back to work after staying at home with my youngest for a few months, and I was like, well, I'm back at work. I'm back at making a paycheck. Let's just do this. Let's start sending in the extra money. At first, I think that was back in the spring, right when COVID hit, and he said, well, let's wait until the fall starts when because in the summertime I don't get a paycheck. He said, let's wait till the fall, get the money coming in, and then let's start throwing it at the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's
when you added it up, did you think it was going to take 15 months or longer?
No, our first estimate was it was going to be 18 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then
there's obviously a couple good months in there, and when 2020 hit, when the government started sending money just because the pandemic, all we did was just take that money and just put it towards the mortgage, and that helped a little bit.
John, you and I paid off their house.
Yeah.
Thanks, America.
We didn't ask for it, but they sent it. So
Thank you, America. The taxpayer dollars at work.
That was nice of us, Dave. That was nice of us.
You guys are fun.
That's
Way
awesome.
to go, y'all. Amazing.
Thank you
I'm so
very
proud of you. Very, very, very well done. All right, what do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
Definitely budgeting, having a plan, and having the same goals.
yeah, the budget is definitely the thing. She's all of that. She's that budget person. So her making sure we stay on that. That's the main thing for me.
Very good. Good stuff.
I'm so proud of y'all. It's awesome.
Yeah, great work. All right, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. You're on your way. Probably 45-year-old millionaires. I mean, that's what it looks like right now, or less, yeah. Good for y'all. Also, going to give you a Ramsey Plus Financial Peace University 1-year certificate to get you guys in for a year subscribed. If you haven't been through the class, you can go through it. If you have, then give it to somebody. The same with the Total Money Makeover book. We're going to give you one of those. So we're going to load you up on goodies to give away and to enjoy both. And so well done. We're very, very, very proud of you. All right, let's bring the kiddos in. What are their names and ages?
Go ahead.
We have Cooper, who is almost 7, and then Remington, who is 3.
All right, Cooper and Remington. Good stuff. Good Americans there. I like them. Patriotic. We need to salute while we're doing this. Good stuff. All right, Jordan and Sarah, Cooper and Remington, Greensboro, North Carolina, $170,000 paid off in 15 years. They're not even 40, and their house is paid for, making 126 to 185. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Way to go, you guys! Woohoo!
And those two little munchkins will never know.
Oh,
a house with a mortgage. Can you
they
imagine?
live in a debt-free house, and he's not even as tall as your knee. It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
He's going to think all parents are just kind to one another. Man, amazing.
All parents don't have money fights and live on a budget together and have shared goals. It happens at our house, so it must be everywhere. Wow. Changing society, one debt-free house at a time. This is the Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Deuteronomy 28:12. The Lord will open to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. Stephen Covey said, our most important financial asset is our own capacity to earn. That's true, because your most powerful wealth-building tool is your income. Thank you for joining us, America. So, John, what do you think is happening in the culture when we were going through the pandemic and people were quarantined and lost their jobs and others were in the plexiglass business and having the best year of their whole freaking lives? You know, some businesses were just booming and others were just gone, just went to nothing. And that happened inside the building here. I mean, we had the entire live events team had to sit down. There was no live events. We didn't lay them off. They're still here, and we're doing events again now. But then we had other areas that just boomed, and we made more money than we thought we'd ever make in some of these other areas. And so in our case, inside Ramsey, we had a really good year in 2020, much better than we thought we were going to when the world was coming to an end in March. And much more than it was originally budgeted. We had a better than budget year, but not, I mean, it didn't just, I mean, we didn't just, the skies didn't open, but other places the skies open and they had, whoa, like that guy with his drone business and real estate pictures, his business went crazy. Right. And he didn't do anything but good things. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but there was this sense of, like, you can't talk about it if you're doing good because times are bad.
We have a culture that is addicted to bad news. And we even have this, Dave, with our close friends. We don't call our friend when something great happens to us. Maybe one or two of them. Hey, this thing happened that was really great. Kid got to play. My wife and I, our marriage is great. We just don't have a cultural ethos towards that. And if you happen to be doing well when things are, you better just keep that to yourself. And then it just got magnified. And what's strange is, most of the people who did really well during the pandemic were helping their community. They happened to have a business that was in service of other people, like DoorDash or delivery or whatever, right? And man, I like to beat that drum, Dave, that we've got to be able to share the tough stuff together, but we've got to be able to share the good stuff too, man.
Well, I mean, it feels like you always talk about, I kind of want to put it in the same bucket with, okay, so-and-so went through this horrible calamity with cancer treatments and everything else, and I broke my leg.
Yep.
No, I didn't. But I mean, and you always say, don't compare your thing to their thing.
Yeah,
right?
your thing, you broke your leg, man.
It still hurts.
It's awful.
Your leg hurt, you know?
Yes.
Now, I understand. It's not cancer. It's not 14 months of chemo. It's not, I didn't lose my hair.
But minimizing your thing isn't going to help their thing.
That's the thing.
Yes.
And minimizing the fact that you're successful doesn't make, that you're making more money than you ever made in your life in the middle of a bad time when you're not doing anything wrong. On the contrary, you're serving.
Right.
Hiding that as an act of shame doesn't make the people that are financially hurting get any better.
Right.
That's the bucket I wanted to put
there
in.
You go. Yeah. And in fact, you can become a lighthouse to your community.
Yeah, showing that it can be done.
That's right. Or here's what this could look like, or here's an idea, or fill in the blank, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to these travel nurses.
Oh, man.
I've had several of them on the show. And they made like $500,000.
They cleaned up, man. They did all right.
$500,000 one of them made in 1 year. And another one didn't even travel, but she worked 2 jobs. Were you on with me? That girl had 90 hours. She was working 90 hours.
Yeah.
And she made like $380,000, and she was working 2 full 40-hour jobs. Yeah. She's cleaning up, man.
We saw teachers who were teaching, and then they'd get right off of work and go immediately into driving, and then the next morning they were up driving Uber, and people worked really hard, and all of a sudden they looked up and they made an extra $100,000. And that message,
during the time that some other folks were legitimately suffering financially.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't minimize their suffering for you to
hide your joy,
your success under a bushel.
Right.
Hide your light under a bushel.
That's right.
It doesn't.
Now, if you're an arrogant idiot about it, then yes. Like, look at me.
Look at you're running poor people down or something. That's not the point.
There's idiots everywhere. But if you have
what? There is a thing in these one group of these trolls that like anytime you say that, hey, listen. Like I said on Fox News during that time, they gave them they came out with a 4th round of money or something. And they're acting like the whole world has changed because Biden's sending out $1,300. And I said, if $1,300 changes your life, you don't have a life.
Oh, you're struggling more than $1,300.
And you know what I got? I got 16 days of trolling Dave Ramsey hates poor people.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You're too cool. You think $1,300 isn't any money. Dude, mathematically, if $1,300 changes your life, you do not have a life. Mathematically. That's not a poor people rundown thing. That's an arithmetic thing. But, man, I got hammered.
Yeah.
I got destroyed. Entire Reddit threads going after Ramsey and people playing the clip over and over and over. And some of these wealth inequalities morons retweeting the thing and all this stuff. As if I hate poor people. I've spent my entire life helping people that were broke.
Right.
But, I mean, that's why people couldn't do it. They can't say I'm winning financially because you're shaming poor people.
So the flip side of that is this. Here's a great example. And you and I have talked about this. The day that I got the call that my first book made the bestseller list, I thought my boss, Jeremy Breland, I thought he was pranking me. I thought he was messing with me, right?
Why? We knew it was going to be number one.
No, not this one, the old one. The Redefining Anxiety.
Okay,
I thought he was messing with me.
Okay.
And so he calls.
Yeah, I did too.
That same day, yeah. So I thought he's messing with me. I hung up and I thought, whoa. Well, shortly after, one of my closest friends in the world, the most stable friend I have, said that the bank he worked for got sold. And I said, so are you rich? And he goes, no, I think I'm out of a job. And I told him, you can't be out of a job. You're the most stable guy I know. And so we talked through it. But in that phone call, he told me the hardest news. I think I'm unemployed. And I said, well, while we're on the phone, I just made the bestseller list. And I was able to sit with him in his grief. And he's like, dude, you've been working for this for so long. I'm so proud of you. I've known you for a long time behind closed doors, and I'm going to get choked up here. He celebrated my win, and I sat with him in the crap. And that's
all
what
in the same
that's
phone
what
call.
Friendships do. And so what he didn't hear as my win is somehow taking from him. And he was able to go, I'm glad that there's a light out here.
Because he's not a freaking victim.
That's right. And so it's if I lost my job and you had your best year ever, you having your best year ever doesn't take from me. In fact, I could allow it to inspire me to take another step out there, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's the way it should be.
And it flips, right? So
we've got this. There's something in this entitlement stuff or in this cancel woke
that I have
stuff,
to take from you in order for me to be whole.
If you say anything about get up off your butt, leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home, then you're shaming poor people.
Right.
Which is quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm teaching people how to not be poor people.
You're giving them a set of skills and strategies, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been broke, but I've never been poor. Poor is a state of mind. You know? And I've never been poor. I've been completely dead dog broke.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, we got a bucket sitting on the dadgum kitchen table and water's dripping off the light fixture. I've been broke.
And I'll flip that around.
Looks like.
I've
also sat there where the fixture over the light table was more than I made in those other years too.
But I've been poor. I've had that mindset of this is the way it's always going to be, right? And it's taken being around other people who have been successful and who have worked really hard and who have opened businesses and fill in the blank to go, I can be different. I can do this different.
But these guys that are doing these debt-free screams, they're changed their family tree because they believed.
That's right.
They had hope.
They had a picture of it and they went
that if I change these transactions, regardless of what my old neighborhood said, regardless of what the tapes my uncle said, the college professor said you're never going to amount to anything.
That's right. I did it anyway.
And my college professor in my senior year dropped his glasses down on his nose and said, Ramsey, you got a firm grasp on the obvious. And so I went and made millions of dollars proving him to be right. I sell the obvious for a living. I sell common sense for a living. I'm good at it. So there you go. I help people all the time.
Celebrate people's victories, man. We need a culture that shines lights.
Celebrate their victories. Sit with them in their grief and celebrate their victories. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, we'll be back. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to the Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.